Second episode. This is the second time of our business talk. We are from Raffles Business School, and we're going to talk something that's really interesting today. I'm with Sajith Gaffoor, the coordinator of our business program. We're going to talk about socialism and capitalism. Okay, so from my point of view, or from the things that we all learn, socialism is an economic system that when all the system run by the government, the system is run by the government. They're the one who set all the rules, and they're the one who monitor everything. So it means that all are limited with rules. Okay, and then the main concept of socialism is they call it justice and fairness and equal for all. So you have to be just, you have to be fair. It's pretty much the same, and you have to be equal. Also equal. It means equal in everything. So we know some socialist country in the world, but capitalism is an economic system where you leave it to the market. Okay, you leave it to the capital owner, the one who owns the capitals. It means all the resources, and what happens in the market. It depends on what they're doing. So it's much more like government is only for regulator, not regulator. They're much more monitoring. They set also the regulation, but it's much more to monitoring. So Sajith, I'm from Indonesia and you're from Sri Lanka, and it's such an interesting thing because Indonesia mainly we were our founder. Most of our founder is socialist. Okay, most of our founder means that we are very socialist in the beginning of our country, but now we are really changing because of the modernism. But because of the modernism, now we're really changing into, I can call it, we start moving towards capitalism, where a lot of investors came in. They opened their own business and everything. But Sajith, you are from Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is a democratic socialist country, which is the government really monitor everything very strong, and they really control everything very strong. So what do you think about this when it comes to business perspective? Because we both are doing business.
Talking from a corporate perspective, socialism and capitalism, it's I would say is two different things on the same page, because you have to have socialism and capitalism,
yes,
and merge both together. Then you have the synergy. So that's what I see as. But with all due respect, many people have different opinion, and they see from different corners. But as Sri Lankan, and in Sri Lanka, I still think it's mixture of both, because even though we are a democratic country and we practice democracy,
yes,
and socialism is obvious. We have democratic government.
Yeah, that's why the name is Democratic Socialist.
Exactly.
Republic of Democratic Socialism of Republic of Sri Lanka.
So that is obvious. So there is socialism, but where you see capitalism, there are multinational MNEs and many other international organizations coming in, and also we have our own best corporations who practice different types of leadership. So let's do it.
I agree. We have let's say we have very famous Abans.
Yeah.
Right. It's a very big corporate. And then second thing, we can say SoftLogic, John Keel's holding. And even if you say this is a socialist country, but even Dilmati, it's really going worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
It means it's not, and then even if we go to much more, I don't say small, but much more specific, like Sparsalon, they go already going overseas,
Across the
and
globe.
some of the smaller scale of business also they start to going overseas and expanding things.
Yeah. So well, I mean, all this fall under capitalism accumulation. So in the sense like money makes money. So which means like I mean that's the basic the rule of thumb in business, right? Like you have money, then you invest your money and you make money out of money. So when you practice so-called all these strategies and so-called all these ideologies, you will land to a point where sometimes you think about merging both together. That's where, because like we spoke about in the earlier episode, we spoke about equality and fairness. That's where it comes. Like it has to, those two elements have to be practiced in a corporation, so or in an enterprise. So you have to merge both together, with socialism, capitalism, and make wise decisions and move forward with the help of government and also your employees. So it's people plus people.
So, but when it comes to the market, who do you think controls? Is it the the market will be, because when it comes to capitalism, the market will be much more fluctuative, because it depends. It depends on what we call it business owners and all these corporates, right? But what do you think in Sri Lanka? Who's control the market? Is it the government, or is it the market itself controlled by themselves?
No, it's both. Definitely, it's both. I personally think it's both, because the reason is, you see, we have to have a government to run the country, which they are running the country, and you have to have the business background, so-called business owners, where they run the market. So the market is a volatile market, and I don't think a government can take control of it. Well, we have countries like China and Cuba and Sweden also come across like
so Sri Lanka
country.
is already now, it's like also changing and it's very open, even though it's not a capitalist country. Okay, let's say like USA, they definitely say we're a capitalist country, but Sri Lanka, even though you're not saying, but it means that open for any investor to coming in, and then and I believe the goal is to improve the economy of this nation. Yeah,
I mean, definitely it is now. I think, I don't know whether there is new legislation, but as of now, there are many FDIs are coming into the country, and Sri Lanka is booming. Then on the other side of the coin, we have debts to clear. So it's like it's accumulation of good and bad. I can say. I mean, I would say, because you have to see the. Well, it's a hard pill to swallow.
Okay.
It's a hard pill to swallow, but end of the day, what you see is what is the development of country, how the economic crisis, how's the economic status of the country.
So now when it comes to business, okay, let's say some people running their business is similar with running the country. It means there's an organization thing, administration thing, selling things. Okay, which principle that you think you prefer to running company, this socialist principle or this capitalist principle?
Well,
this is from your point of view.
Yeah,
we want to know from.
Yeah, I know. Okay, since you asked my point of view, yes, there are companies and.
No, if let's say you run it, you run it. Which one do you want to use? Capitalist or socialist, or some people say 50-50?
Absolutely 50-50, both. Like having said that, it's like both. You have to merge both together. That's the reason. Like it's always it's good to have synergy. So synergies become very successful or efficient when you merge two good things together. So I believe in that theory.
Okay. Do you agree? Because this is according to me. Okay, socialist system is good for the country which is they're not too big. They don't have too many people to take care of. Let's say we have a lot of European socialist country like Denmark. Let's say like Finland. I agree with you, and even France. France is like they're a bit. too many things to take care of, and then they just let the market decide who's want to go up and who wants to stay there on that middle level, and who wants to, sinking into some problem and they're crashing into because of that. So what do you think about this opinion?
That's capitalism, right? What do you think? That's purely
capitalism.
That's
pure.
It's controlled by the market.
Yes.
So.
But are you agree? When it comes to bigger country with the big people, sometimes you need that capitalism. But sometimes when it comes to small and you want to take care of things very easily. Like most of the European countries, they are not really that big.
So the recent example of Venezuela, what happened there. So I don't want to get into the politics of it, but if to talk from a business perspective, whether the country is small or big, sometimes it has it affects to a certain extent, but regardless of the size, we had to see what is suitable for the country. So it has to, one has to see the age, stage, the resources they have, and also the team they have, and what sort of the culture, everything. So it's accumulation of many things combined together, and then it forms to be socialism or capitalism. And some countries, some governments impose socialism, some governments maybe impose or favor capitalism. So it's vice versa. It's like a mixture of both.
So it means if like that, if we're looking at Venezuela, it's a very good lesson for all of us. But it means that, if you see Denmark, how well are they doing? Most of the European socialists, Finland, actually, they are doing very well. All the people that are they're very happy. But when it comes to Venezuela, now they're not happy. So I see that something's wrong. It's mismanaged. The principle that they use is not a bad principle. Some people say this is bad, that's bad. Capitalism is bad. Socialism is bad. They have their own version, but I don't see it's a bad principle. But it's been mismanaged, because if we see Denmark and Finland and other European countries, they're doing well with that system, right? But it is mismanaged because if we dig very well in the what happened the last 20 years, how previous president of Venezuela, Hugo Chavez, he used all those the country's revenue, country's income, he used that for to subsidize all these things. But because he subsidized everything, but all these subsidiaries that they're using it, they're using it just to subsidize, not to empower the economy. So it means that they gave, first thing, definitely free education. It's good because you learn something, right? But after that, they gave, they subsidized the gas, all those things, the daily needs. They subsidize those things, so the price won't goes up, and then even though you have the same salaries for the last 10 years, you still can afford, because once there's inflation, they subsidize those things. So they subsidize these things, and then in the end, the economy is not really growing. But the first 10 years it's okay because there's still money, and then for the first 10 years it's okay because nothing's happened. The oil price is still not that much. It's fluctuating, but it's not that much. But when it comes to really the oil price went down that bad in 2014, half of it, their foreign reserve, it's gone. And all these years, there's a lot of loan that Hugo Chavez made to all of these countries. Now they cannot pay the loan, and the inflation. Can you imagine? It's 2.5 million bolivar for a cup of coffee. That is around $30,000 for a cup of coffee in Venezuela. But that is because the mismanaged, because you use that loan not to build the economy, not to make the economy growing, but just to subsidize everything. So things very well. So it means that now we can learn together from this case. Also, it means that even for a business in one company, you have to do a balance, between a socialist, because socialism is good because you will keep your eye on each and every one. It means, but the capitalist part where freedom to compete in each other. It means also you have to, because by competition everyone will grow. They experience the challenge, and it makes them grow. because they fight for something.
So the answer, so the question you asked, main question. Yes, Jonas, like you correctly said, there are many things which are mismanaged or misled by different people, communities, and leadership. So yeah, that leads to a very crisis situation, so-called very unpleasant situations. But I think that happens everywhere, like everywhere in the sense, not in countries, but also in management. Yeah, there are mismanagement, wrong decisions, emotional decisions, and so on and so forth. But end of the day, supporting my earlier point, you have to see the situation or the present. I would say the present. What situation or what position we are in. So based on that, we have to make.
I agree with you.
We have to make several decisions which is suitable for that given crowd or situation or position. So it may vary case to case, scenario to scenario, but you have to bring in fairness and equality. So when you practice equality and fairness, what happens? You think about your country first, then you think about the people you're working with, then you think about the company, and you think about yourself. So having all these 4 elements put together, then you really you arrive in the right conclusion, because you have to connect the dots to form a shape. So that's what I believe in. So like you said earlier, like you mentioned few countries, there are several countries which are prospering, and there are some other countries which are not. So basically I think it's about making decisions at the right time with the right people.
Okay. One last question, Sajith. Are you socialist or not? Or you're a capitalist?
Ask the question, both. Like, what about the question?
Okay, are you a socialist? Are you a capitalist person?
Well, I'm a capitalist who practice socialism.
Okay, so you're denying. No. Okay, guys, this is very interesting. Sajith is a capitalist who practicing socialist.
So, how about yourself, Jonas?
Okay, for me, I'm a socialist. No, okay. I was born as a socialist. I'm a socialist. I was a socialist.
Was, okay.
I was a socialist.
Okay, you were.
Yeah, I was a socialist. But, I'm fighting like a capitalist.
Okay, fair enough. Because of the market and the position.
But if you ask me right now, I can say I'm capitalist. Definitely. But, our socialist, I start everything as a socialist. So it means that's the conclusion. One thing we can conclude on this, then nothing bad with capitalism and socialism. Both have a good side of it.
Yeah.
And it depends on you. You want to be a capitalist, or you want to be socialist, or you want to be balanced in the middle, as long as you did the right thing.
And end of the day, these all ideologies, and you have to make sure which one you choose.
Yes. Okay. So until next time.